Ethiopians for thousands of years have claimed these things. And you have people now who is in the disclaiming, which is Chisholm is part of it. Now, I wasn't there in history. I am going off of what is written. I choose, and Rastafari choose, to really deal with the Ethiopian version of history. And the Ethiopians is writing about their history. Now, I don't know who Clinton is reading to disclaim Ethiopian history, but obviously it is not Ethiopians that are disclaiming Ethiopian history. So if someone is saying that I choose to follow what the Ethiopians say in history, and Clinton is saying no, I choose to oppose Rastafari based upon what people write about Ethiopian history, then wrong and right, we don't know how the wrong and right thing coming of it. But the first thing I want to really work with now is the idea where you...
So not because you are following an actual thing from history doesn't mean that it is correct. There are many things in history that God is actually against. Now Rastafarianism is not of God. Hence Clinton Chisholm is trying to point you to the truth of Jesus Christ. But every man, of course, will choose their belief, and you choose your belief as Rastafarianism.
About Haile Selassie is not a black man or a Negro.
Yeah.
You know, the idea of black and Negro, well, Negro is still black, but the idea of black is really a political thing, jargon. Rastafari is not claiming black man and Negro, even though he's recognizing Africa as a black continent. What Rastafari is saying is that black people never have an African God and an African king to claim. And when Owil claimed Haile Selassie as black people king, he was responding.
What you mean? They've always have God. God has always been there. He's been there. He is the creator of all things. So of course the Africans had a God to serve. They have the God above to serve.
Into an event, not a situation, not an idea. He was saying that this man, Haile Selassie, that Marcus Garvey said that black people must worship God through Ethiopia, through their own spectacle, which we want to come to what I'm saying, that is not Ethiopia physically, the place we're talking about. But when Marcus Garvey tell us that where is the black man God, where is the black man king, where is the black man kingdom, in page 42 of the Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey, there is a topic there that Marcus Garvey talk about the image of God. And it clearly states that if the Jews want to worship God through the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, let him do it. If the Chinese want to do this thing, let them do it. But we, though late it might be, must worship God through Ethiopia, and that is what we choose to do. Now, when Leonard Owil in 1930 saw that this African, we're not talking about a political mindset now, that talk about black and Negro, this African was crowned in 1930. Leonard Owil says, this is the redeemer for black people. This is the person who's going to redeem black people out of the thing. And we must now see that black people have a king that is African, and it's not the king of England, which is a European.
But how would Haile Selassie redeem black people? By himself. And then at the end of the day, he is actually pointing you people to Jesus Christ. You people need to look into all of this. If he was really the one that should redeem black people, then he wouldn't have been directing you guys to another entity to get saved. If it was his job, then he would have done it. And of course he would have claimed himself as that person to save the nation, but he didn't. He kept on pointing everyone to Christianity.
So the idea that Haile Selassie is not a black man now is really a problematic situation, because what I think Clinton is alluding to is that Haile Selassie is of a mixed breed.
Semitic.
Yes. No. We have to really work with that. We have to work out that understanding of the black man. I really want to ask Clinton, if the people of America decide, say, they're going to declare Obama God or Christ, would you say that Obama is not a black man because he have a white mother? Because it is the person who is defining their existence and not the person who is looking on. And if Haile Selassie declare himself as a black man,
he has not.
Yeah, but I can tell you that I have read speeches where I is talking about we as Africans.
Yes, Africans. Yeah,
yeah, but Africans are not Semitic.
But Selassie claims to be Semitic.
No, yeah, but that is the greatness about the situation. No, he's claiming Semitic lineage and he's claiming the African lineage because his mother, according to the thing that you just put down a while ago, according to the history of the Ethiopians, this queen mixed with this Semitic person. So he's claiming now the Semitic lineage and the African lineage, meaning that when he says that he's an African and we Africans will fight if it is necessary, he's not talking about the Semitic, he's talking about the black people in Africa. So we must not declare now, say, because Haile Selassie's great-great-grandparents, which is used fighting against, I don't know, or you're going to fight against the history of the thing and then still say that Haile Selassie is Semitic. Because I'm not saying that Haile Selassie don't have Semitic in him. I am saying that Haile Selassie is claiming Semitic, and Haile Selassie is also claiming his black heritage based upon his mother and based upon his father. I mean his grandfather. He's claiming this two things, just like how we stand up and hear Obama say his mother was white and his father was black, and he's claiming being an African American. He is black. Obama is a black man. Whether he has white in him or not, he is defining himself. Not you, not me. Haile Selassie is a black man based upon that his parents.
Did he so define himself?
He defines himself as a black man.
Where? What?
Never.
Where?
You have otherwise?
Yeah, he has always claimed to be. It's in the Constitution. He's
the Constitution. He says
Semitic line, yeah. It's in the Constitution. He's the Constitution. He says Semitic line, yeah.
He has never claimed to be a black man.
Never claimed to be black. He's an African that's on.
Bota was African.
But tell me something now. African is more important in the realms of what Rastafari is saying to an African are talking about Semitic. Which one is more important to the Rasta man?
African, I would think.
Yes, all right. Then is Haile Selassie an African?
He was an African.
Then what you talking about?
But your white people were
just said that.
Which white people is African?
No, you said.
No, which white people is African?
A white person cannot.
No, tell me which white person is African? Which white person is African?
A person born on the landmass of Africa.
It's not African.
He's African.
No, not which white person born on the landmass of Africa?
It's a white person, a white man who is born in
Where? Tell me where he's born. You have to tell me the place where I'm born in Africa for him to be.
No matter when born.
No. If a cow born in a pig pen, it's not a pig.
More tell us the Chinese. More tell us the Chinese.
Maybe he can be a Ghanaian by nationality, but he's not an African.
Back to Selassie.
Wait, man, don't stop me, man.
No.
African. No, but we try to answer the question because he write a whole book about it.
We want to see where he defines himself as a black man. Has he ever defined himself as a black man?
Yes.
Where?
And we're not talking about what him define himself. No, we're talking about being African. And if a white man is African,
Rastas don't just emphasize the African part. They emphasize the blackness.
But I am telling you now that blackness is a political thing that he's using now against Rasta. Blackness is a thing that he's using against Rasta, and Rasta is talking about Africa. When Marcus Garvey talk about black, what him talking about? When Marcus Garvey talking about black,
this is getting heated.
That's what I'm talking about. A white man born in Africa?
No.
He's talking about Africans.
Right.
So we are justificating the word African with black. That's what we're doing now. And we are saying that you are an African, you're a black man.
Muta.
Yes.
I am older than you, I think. I grew up with the oldest Rastas in Montego Bay. And in the old days, ask any old Rasta, when Rastas talk about black man religion, they might talk about black.
Did you live Rastafari? Did you live it?
I didn't live the lifestyle.
That is true. Normally, when they're talking about Rastafarianism, they associated with you being a black person.
Right, so I am the person who live it now. So when you live
you're
amongst
a
them,
younger man, you're a younger man with a Rasta.
So what that
You didn't want to the ancient man.
You
didn't want to the ancient man.
wise and prudent reveal to the babe and
I agree with that,
So if I am a babe to you, I am revealing something to you now. I am saying to you, an African, Haile Selassie is an African, and Haile Selassie is a black man. Now, whether you hear Haile Selassie say it or not, I am telling you that I have read Haile Selassie talking about the black people of Africa, including himself.
All right, no, Muta, I'm saying to you, just make one simple point. That the ancient dreads in Montego Bay, certain where I grew, when they're talking about black, they're talking about Negro.
But I am telling you that when we say black, we are talking about Africans.
Today.
No, yesterday.
In the 1950s.
When the 50s.
The 1950s in Montego Bay.
When the Montego Bay Rasta them say black people, them talking about Africans.
In 1950?
Yes. Yes.
No, Muta, you're wrong.
What them talking about when them say black people?
Negroes.
Who's Negroes? You ever hear Rasta talk about Negro?
Yeah, me hear Rasta talk about
Negro.
Negro. Yeah.
No man, Rasta not talk about Negro. Rasta say black man.
The black man, but that they mean Negro.
No,
they're not talking about Africa.
No. Wait there.
So you accept the Semitic?
No, wait there. He me saying when black people say Negro, it mean black. When Rasta say black people, it mean African. It don't mean Negro.
So
because to Rasta, Negro is a derogative term.
Yeah, true. Clinton, you have historical reference where Selassie projected himself more as a Semitic. He defined himself in those terms.
In other words, after the Zagwe dynasty was overthrown by Yekuna Amlak, the Zagwe dynasty was a group of Negroes. On the African...
You keep saying Negroes. Negroes is a derogative that you say nigger.
Black man.
Black man. But it is whether you use it or not, it's a if I say nigger in any way, in
go off on a side part.
Alright.
No, Negro is a derogative
I don't use it. Black man.
Rasta
We will always use
black
black man.
Black man is an African. No part of it. Don't try to.
No, hold on, Muta.
Rasta is saying black man is African.
I'm making a point.
Peter said, no matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. So what Rasta is saying, that if you're a black man, you're an African. There's no term in Rasta that declare Negro. I never in my life hear Rasta talk about Negro. You are use the word Negro.
The Zagwe dynasty, which ruled on the throne of Ethiopia before Yekuna Amlak in the 17th century, the 14th century rather, was a group of non-Semites. They were Negroes, they were blacks. They were blacks, alright?
Were they Africans?
They were Africans,
yes.
They grew up in that era.
Okay.
No, they were overthrown by Yekuna Amlak. And the Semitic line and the Solomonic dynasty, so-called, came about through Yekuna Amlak. No, Tades Tamrat, an Ethiopian himself, an Ethiopian historian.
Yes.
He rejects the idea that there was a genuine Solomonic dynasty in Ethiopia. He says it was because Ethiopia was beleaguered by the Muslims around them, cut off from the Christian nations to which it really belonged. Because
so who's the Falashans?
Because Ethiopia was a Christian empire. Then they identified with the beleaguered Israelites in the Old Testament, and so talk about a Solomonic dynasty.
Who is the Beta Israelites?
So that's
who are the Beta Israelites? That
was
a myth that came out. The myth came out,
and it's
there was political realities.
So on the throne of Ethiopia, in the Kebanagas, only a Semite must rule. No non-Semite and no woman.
That is not true. Zardito
was a contradiction in terms.
So you have an exception then?
She's an exception,
Okay, alright. So that is clear then. There was a woman who was ruling Ethiopia.
Just before Selassie,
the dynasty of the Kadans,
Candace,
it wasn't an individual queen, it was a dynasty of queens.
All of the queens in the Meroite.
It was ruled, yes. So that means the women was ruling Ethiopia too.
In Sudan, not Ethiopia.
No, Ethiopia.
No, not Ethiopia. The first woman on the throne was Zaudito.
No, the first woman on the throne was Makeda.
Well, if you see Makeda as being on the throne of Ethiopia,
then she was the queen of Ethiopia?
No,
where she was?
She was in Arabia.
Where?
South Arabia.
Where? Yemen. Listen to me. Yemen was part of the kingdom of Ethiopia in that time.
What period of time?
Yemen.
What period of time?
What period of which time? When Makeda. No, look here.
Makeda is 10th century BC.
No, listen to me. Makeda was the queen of Seba. If you declare that Seba is in
South Arabia,
it's in Yemen. It's in Yemen. You don't agree with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's South Arabia.
Yeah, and I am saying to you now that the